Hey, lovelies. I wanted to share something that completely changed how I think about scaling, and that will challenge almost everything you've been taught about growing your business. I've made more than $50,000 from a conversion event with just five people, not once, but over and over again. And I'm not saying that to impress you, but because I think many of you are working so much harder than you need to, chasing numbers that don't actually get you results. You think you need a bigger audience, maybe more followers, more reach, more visibility, right? And you think that once you have the numbers, the revenue will follow. I want to offer you a different perspective today because if that were true, if size was the thing, then only the businesses with the biggest audiences would be wealthy. And that's just not what I see. What I see is some women with thousands of followers making millions, and others who are undercharging and overworking. And I also see women with a few hundred, the right few hundred, generating life changing income from intimate, intentional experiences, and other women with small audiences using that as the excuse for not making money. So, for those of you who are new to my world, my name is Anne Ryan. I'm a business mentor and a money mindset coach. And I work with female coaches and consultants who want to scale to $30,000 to $50,000 months and beyond with high ticket offers. So they need just a couple of sales a month to make their desired income. I've scaled an offline business to multiple seven figures per year and my coaching business to multiple six figures, just working 2 to 4 hours a day. So when I talk about scaling differently, I'm talking from inside of that experience, not just from theory. So today I want to walk you through exactly how I do it, and more importantly, how you can too. So let me ask you something. When you think about running a conversion event, let's say a workshop, a masterclass, or a 5 or 10 day challenge, what number do you need to see registered before you feel good about it? Be honest with yourself. Most business owners I talk to have a number in their head, right? And below that number, they feel like it isn't worth it, right? They start questioning their marketing, their offer, their audience, themselves, and they wonder if they should even postpone it. Here's what that thinking is costing you. It's keeping you focused on the wrong metric entirely. Yeah. You are measuring the size of the event instead of what happens inside of it, right? I've been in conversion events with hundreds where very little converted. And I've been in rooms of five where the energy was so concentrated, so intentional, so well led that everyone in that room made a decision and moved. It's not the size of the event that converts. It's you that converts the attendees into clients. And here's the thing about intimate spaces. So many overlook. The smaller the room, the more powerful the connection you have with each individual person. When there are five people or eight or even 12, every person feels seen. Every question gets answered. The conversation goes deep in a way it can't when you're serving a crowd. That depth of connection is the thing that makes people make a decision, right? Not the number of people in the room, but the depth of the conversation. So, what actually makes an intimate event convert at that level? It's not luck or just having a really great offer. I think it comes down to three things, right? The first thing is who's in the room, whether it's virtual or in person. This might be the most important factor and the one most people don't pay enough attention to. When you are focused on volume, you take anyone who signs up, right? When you are focused on conversion, you get very intentional about who you invite. So an intimate conversion event isn't like a webinar. It's a curated conversation. The people in that room should already be warm to you. They've been following your content. They've been in your world. They already believe in what you do. They're not strangers, right, that you need to convince from scratch. Now, that said, I have converted cold rooms too, right? Especially over multiple days where you have time to take someone from being a stranger to sold. Generally, I spend more time on who I'm inviting than on the content itself, because 5 to 10 of the right people will always outperform 100 wrong ones. And to be clear, when I refer to inviting, I am not sending out cold DMs. I'm inviting from people who've expressed interest or they've actually applied, right? Now, the second thing is how the room is held. This is what separates a training from an event that actually converts. It's the energy, the presence, the level of personalization you bring when the room is small. So when I run an intimate event, I'm not just delivering a presentation, or if I do, that's just a small part of the time. Mostly, I'm leading a conversation. I'm asking questions. I'm reading the room. I'm calling people in by name. I'm making observations. I'm saying things like, I noticed you hesitated there. Can we talk about that? Right? You cannot do that with 100 people, but with 5, even 10, it changes everything because they're not sitting there passively consuming content. They are in it. They are being seen. And when people feel genuinely seen, they trust you, and trust is what converts. The third is how the room is moved to making a decision. This is where most people lose it, even when they've done the first two things right. They deliver great content, they create real connection, and then they end the event with a vague, apologetic offer. Something like, so if you're interested, here's the link, no pressure, take your time. That's not leading, that's hoping, and hope is not a strategy, right? Moving a room to a decision is a skill. It's knowing when the time is right. It's presenting your offer in a way that makes the decision feel obvious. Not because you've pushed them there, but because everything before it has built to that moment. The offer isn't separate from the event. It's the destination. The whole conversation has been moving towards, right? So when you get those three things right, the right people, held powerfully and moved with intention, the size of the conversion event becomes almost irrelevant. I've had 5 people in a room and walked away with more than $50,000 in sales because the right person was ready to move. And I want to be honest with you, right? Selling is a skill I am still developing. I'm better at it than I was when I first started in business. But the reason I'm sharing this is because you don't have to be perfect at this to make it work. You just have to genuinely want to help someone. So I want you to imagine this for a second. You're not stressing about your registration numbers or refreshing your, sign up page, hoping to see the numbers increase. And you're not wondering if it's even worth running the event with the numbers that you have. Instead, you're looking at your list of, let's say, 7 confirmed attendees, and you feel excited because you know who's on that list. You've had conversations with most of them. They're already in your world. They already trust you. They're showing up because they want to be there. The event itself feels different too. It's not you broadcasting to a bunch of cameras that have been turned off and attendees who are half paying attention. It's a real conversation. People are sharing. You are responding to what's actually coming up for the attendees, and it feels alive. And when you make your offer with complete confidence, because you know it's exactly what these people need, there's no awkwardness, right? There's no apology. No, I'll make this quick, but just a clear, calm invitation to the next step. And then a few of them say yes. That's what an intimate conversion event feels like when it's done well. I've built a significant part of my business on this model, right? Not on big launches with hundreds of leads, on intentional, small events run with strategy where the right women make powerful decisions. I work just 2 to 4 hours a day. I have 2 high-ticket offers, right? My one-to-one and my mastermind. And I generate the income I want without doing more, including 50K conversion events with just 5 people in them. This is available to you too. It doesn't require a bigger audience. It just requires a better strategy and the identity to match. I've seen this play out with clients too, right? One of my clients had been running webinars for months before she hired me, putting huge energy into her marketing, getting decent registrations, but barely converting. She was exhausted and starting to question whether her offer was the problem. We shifted the model entirely. Instead of a big open webinar, she ran small invitation-only sessions with 9 people she'd already been in conversations with. She held it, led it, and made her offer differently. She converted 4 of the 9 at a high ticket price point. In one event, she made $60,000. Another client who was earlier in her business with a tiny audience and was convinced she needed to wait. She thought she needed more followers, more credibility and more time. We ran an intimate event with just 6 of her most engaged connections. She closed 3 of them and made $18,000 in cash. The audience size was never the issue. It never is. If you've been waiting for permission to stop playing the volume game, this is it. You don't need a bigger audience to make bigger money. You just need a smarter strategy for the audience you already have. And intimate conversion events are one of the most powerful tools in that strategy. When you know how to curate the right room, hold it with intention, and move people to make a decision, the revenue potential from a handful of the right people is extraordinary. If you want to know exactly how I structure these, the invitation process, the format, and the way I run them, and how I make the offer, DM me the word intimate, and I'll know you watch this training and I'll respond to you personally. We'll have a conversation about whether this is the right next move for your business and what it could look like for you specifically. And if this landed for you, right, share it with your biz besties, right? There are women in your world still chasing the numbers game who need to hear this. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the DMs.